Just waiting for a couple people to join. Today we'll be going over supplement myths. Give it about 30 more seconds. So again, today we'll be going over supplement myths. Kind of going over some of the things that are good with supplements, some things that are kind of myths, some of the things that you should probably think of. This is meant to be interactive. Feel free to ask questions as you like, and I will answer them as I go. If it's on topic, I will usually stop what I'm doing during the session and kind of address what your question is. If it's off topic, I will save it to the end. So feel free to ask anything that you want. Just know if it's on topic, I'll stop and answer. If it's off topic, I'll probably save it to the end to kind of stay on the subject. All right, we should have enough people now. All right, so today we will be going over supplement myths. We'll be going over what's good about them, what's bad about them, maybe some things you should think about. Maybe it's supplements that aren't as good as you think, or some that are as good as you think, or that you need to pay more attention to. Again, this is meant to be interactive. Feel free to stop me and ask questions as you like. I will stop and address all questions at some point. So any question you ask, I'll address as long as it's appropriate. All right, first part, why are supplements popular? I think we all know this, right? A lot of people turn to supplements for the first and foremost reason. They look for the quick fix. We're all humans. And as humans, we want something that's usually easy, right? Majority of people, we don't like things that are hard. We want things that make it easier. So if we can take a pill and it's going to help us get to the body we want, we're probably going to lean towards it faster than we would lean towards hard work that it takes to get it. Just know that, like with anything in life, when you do something that's a shortcut, a lot of times those things are not sustainable, and you will end up gaining the weight back, losing the muscle mass that you have, or have other effects. You know, obviously I could get into, we're not going to really talk about it today, but you know, you get on the fact of like steroids, and if you do steroids, there's going to be side effects with it, right? Anger issues maybe. Acne for some, you know, premature balding, and then things with testosterone. Like if you're getting older in a male and you're taking testosterone, just realize if you do take that, it's some people need it, but if you take it and you don't need it, your body stops producing it because you're supplemented with it, and so your body doesn't think it needs to produce it, so it doesn't do it. So with any supplement, when you do these things, again, it says it in the word, you're supplementing your body usually with something that it may or may not already produce. So be mindful of that. So somebody talked about steroids now. I overheard a couple guys talking about Tren the other day in the gym, and I live in a small town in Ireland. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Tren is Tren is, for anybody who doesn't know, Tren is a type of steroid. It is actually it is a pretty intense one. So I would not recommend it. And if you do want to go the steroid route, I would always go with somebody who may be a doctor, somebody who knows what they're doing, at least can tell you how to do it. A lot of times the people who push these things are also not the type of people that you want to be telling you how to mix chemicals with, in my opinion. All right, so the fitness industry heavily markets supplements and often creates unrealistic expectations. I mean, all you have to do is go look at a protein ad, and very rarely do you see, you know, a guy who's regular size, who's in shape. You're going to see some huge guy who's absolutely jacked, or some girl who's ripped and toned, and they're trying to. It's no different than Sports Illustrated back in the '90s with women and how the women were, unrealistic expectation, like a Barbie doll, right? The majority of women aren't built like a Barbie. It's unrealistic. So understand that those supplements, just like with anything with marketing, they're trying to market to your insecurities, your weakness, the ideology of what you may or may not want to, they think you might want to look like. So they try to put those things like, hey, it's achievable if you take this. Just realize that those marketing are done for a certain reason. If you go listen to any marketing podcast, or you look at something, there's key things that people do with marketing. Like, how many FOMOs do you see? Fear of missing out. How many times do people try to create this idea that if you don't do this, you won't achieve it? And it puts this in you like, hey, I want to do it because I don't want to miss out. It's the same thing with supplements. So, like we're creating this idea or this marketing idea that if you don't do it, you cannot get the idea, the goals that you want. And that's just not true. Just starting at the gym, gym advice. I'll come back. Anything that's, just for those who are joining, any questions that are outside of the topic, I'll try to bring up at the end and talk to you then. And again, please ask questions as we go. I will answer all questions. All right. So that's kind of why supplements are popular. We all know that. Quick fix. It's heavily marketed. In the United States, if you go into a gas station now, there's a whole, like there'll be sodas in this little container, and then right beside it is energy drinks. I mean, that's how far we've went. There is energy drinks in every gas station now, as many as there are Cokes. That's how far the pendulum has swung, right? All right, some common myths. Supplements are necessary for progress. While supplements can be helpful, they aren't essential for making progress. Nutrition and training are more crucial. So, again, just how I said supplement is a key word, you have to think of it as that, just that. It supplements what you're already doing. It can help aid what you're doing. If I go and take protein, I go and take creatine, and I go take, whatever else, if I'm not eating properly and I'm not working out, I'm not going to get bigger. I'm not going to get stronger. I'm not going to get faster. None of those things are going to happen without me putting in the work in the two areas that I discussed, nutrition and training. Those two are far more important than there is in any way you can, as far as supplements go. It's just not going to do anything unless you have those in there. That's where a good workout program and a good nutrition plan come into effect. When you have those two in place and you start seeing results and then you hit a plateau, that's when you probably want to look at supplements. That is where, your progress is stopped, or you feel like you hit something where you cannot continue, and that is when you may want to supplement your intake of supplements to help aid that, right? So whole foods provide most of what people need in muscle growth, fat loss, and recovery. So what do I mean by that? So the things that build muscles, amino acids, proteins, and all of that is in the nutrition that you're already putting in your body. Like creatine. Creatine is a big thing, right? Like when I was younger, creatine came out in the 90s, right? And it was a big thing. But your body already naturally produces it. However, if you're working out hard, you're breaking down your muscles, aiding to that with creatine for recovery is something that you might want to look at. So just realize the majority of everything you need, vitamins, amino acids, protein, carbohydrates, good fats, all of that is already in the foods that you're intaking. You're just looking to add to that with the supplements. It is not needed for you to get to some of the progress you want. More is better is myth number 2. Taking more supplements or higher doses doesn't mean that you're going to see better results. In fact, it can lead to negative side effects. I think that's kind of common sense, right? If you have a headache, and the bottle says take 2 aspirin, you don't go, oh, I got a super headache, so I'm going to go take 5 aspirins, right? That's not the way it works. You already know that common sense-wise, you shouldn't do that. Well, the same applies with supplements. Like, there's a certain amount of protein that you can input in your body, and your body just doesn't break it down, or it's not going to aid into you. And I can go take a whole bottle of creatine. It's not going to do me any good, right? It's going to do me good to a certain point, and then it becomes non-existent as far as my body is just going to flush it out of the system. If I went and took vitamin C right now, take the whole bottle, while I cannot overdose on vitamin C, at some point I don't need all that vitamin C in my body. So just think of that. Like, again, especially in our culture in America, we do think more is better all the time. And that's definitely not true with supplements. Now, there are just key supplements you should pay attention to, and some of them you shouldn't. Myth 3, fat burners can help you lose fat quickly. Fat burners don't really melt away fat, but they help marginalize the energy and help marginalize your energy and metabolism. And as long as the diet and exercise are in place, it can help. So what does that kind of mean? Like, if you pay attention to a lot of fat loss pills, they suppress a little bit of your appetite, and then a lot of times they have a lot of caffeine in them, right? So what does that do? It boosts your metabolism, makes you move around a little bit, right? And sometimes you'll have crashes off those things if you've ever done them. So they can aid, but be mindful that it's not always going to do what you want it to do. Like it's not a magic pill to where you're just going to lose. Now, there's some stuff out there right now that's pretty high quality that'll help you lose weight, but you're not getting in better shape. You're not improving your health, right? You're just merely losing some of the fat because of the stuff that you're inputting in your body. I don't recommend that as the only way to go about it. The best fat loss strategy is creating a caloric deficiency with nutrition and exercise. So it's simple math. I've covered this last week in nutrition. How you gain and lose weight is just math. It's just a simple addition and subtraction. The calories you input as far as what you eat or drink, and then the calories you burn by working out and moving around. You burn more calories in a day by walking around, sitting up, standing at your desk, getting something to eat, opening a door. You burn more energy and calories that way than you do any other part. But just be mindful that, hey, those things are how you lose the weight, is this calorie deficiency. Because the best thing about being a calorie deficiency is when you lose weight in that fashion, you keep it off. You don't have that quick gain. So if you do like a fad diet to where you like starve yourself or you deprive yourself of something and you lose weight fast, you majority of the time gain it back because it's not sustainable. When you go at a 100 or 200 calorie deficiency, so let's say to maintain your weight, you're supposed to be at 2,200 calories, but you go down to 2,000, sorry, if you're 2,200 calories, you go down to 2,000 calories, so you're 200 calorie deficit a day, you start losing 1% of body weight-ish a week, and that's sustainable and something that you can maintain until you get to the weight that you desire, or the body look you want. Myth number 4, protein powder is essential. Protein powder is convenient, but it's not necessary. Whole food sources like chicken, fish, beans can easily cover protein needs. I say that for you to understand that you don't need it. Would I advocate that most people try to use it? Yes. Why? Because it's easy to do. It's easy for quick fixes as far as like, hey, if I have a sweet tooth, I can mix it with Greek yogurt, or I can mix it with water, and now I'm getting something that's kind of sweet that, tricks my brain into thinking I'm eating a dessert or something. And it's a very good source of protein. It is a very good source of protein, and the macros on it is usually pretty good. There's a pretty good ratio of protein to carbs and fat, which helps on the calorie level. A gram of fat is definitely more calories than a gram of protein or carbs. So is there any questions with covering some of those myths right there? Someone said creatine is good and dirt cheap. Yes, it is. It is very dirt cheap nowadays. It was not back when I was young. All right, feel free to continue to ask questions. I'm answering them as I go. I haven't forgotten about the one. I just want to come back to it with the gym advice. All right, supplements that actually help. And we just said, hey, that you don't need it, but the ones that do help, and these are all my opinion. Protein powder. I just kind of explained why, right? It's useful for people who struggle to hit their protein goals through whole foods. Best for convenience, especially pre-workout. So again, it's a very good way to aid having your protein intake. Especially for those people who aren't big on eating meat, or they're a vegan or a vegetarian. This is very much going to supplement you into being able to hit your daily protein goal. Where you should be eating anywhere from 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of weight. This here will allow you to maintain a certain level, especially when you're working out hard. Myself, I probably do almost 2 grams of protein a day per my body weight. Just how I'm built, it works for me. And you'll find that each individual person is different, and you'll need to find the things that work for you. Because anybody tells you the same as somebody else can do the same things, they're just giving you a lot of bullshit, to be truthful. There's different types. There's whey, there's plant-based, there's casein, and when to use both. The different ones, casein, it processes slower. So if you're going to do it at nighttime before you go to sleep, and then you can stay fuller through while you're sleeping, and it'll breaks down slower, so it keeps you fuller longer. Whey is good for a quick fix. It's usually cheaper. It's easier to have that good ratio as far as macros, protein, fat, carbs, and usually you get pretty tasty damn protein nowadays. I think at my house I got Chips Ahoy, Nutter Butter, and peanut butter cereal from Ghost. I mix that with Greek yogurt, and it tastes like pudding, and it's great for me. I have a bad sweet tooth, and it gets my fix in. Number 2, creatine. We kind of touched on this earlier. It's one of the most researched and effective supplements for increasing muscle strength and performance. And it's safe for long-term use because it's been tested over many years. So it's not something new to the market. It's something that's been time tested, and you don't have to worry about it actually doing damage to you. You know, there's all different kinds of creatine now. They've gotten invented. I personally use creatine gummies. I like them. They have good taste. I don't have to mix it. I don't have to worry about taking it. I just take it with, you know, my daily vitamins in the morning. Creatine is a great way for recovery, for performance, strength increase. I use pre-workout, creatine, and protein powder, and then I do daily vitamins. That's all I do. But creatine and protein powder would probably be the two first ones I recommend. For me, I wake up pretty early, so I keep pre-workout by my head, and I take it right when I wake up to help me get going in the morning for workout. Next, omega-3s. So fish oil, right? So these are great for inflammation, your heart function, your brain function. And so a lot of times people don't get enough of these healthy fats through their diet. You know, some of this can be linked to depression actually, and other things like some of the mental health that we suffer in America just because we're not getting those type of supplements we need. But it also helps with your joints. So if you work out hard and you get inflammation in your joints, this fish oil will help calm that down, that omega-3. So I do take it every once in a while when I have some joint issues, or, you know, I've worked out intense for a couple days in a row. I will take it, and it does help. It is a supplement for that. And it, again, is something that's been time tested. It's a natural product. It's not something you have to worry about as health-wise. Vitamin D is the next one. Many people, especially in colder climates, are deficient in vitamin D. And so it helps with bone health, your mood, and immune system. So again, another one that's going to affect the way it helps with your brain functionality and how you feel. Obviously the number one, vitamin D, you know, sun. But, you know, if you need a supplement, it's a great way to help. And it also helps with muscle building as well. So again, these are the four that I recommend that actually help a great deal. Protein powder, creatine, omega-3, i.e. fish oil, and vitamin D. Any questions there? None so far? All right, let's talk about some overhyped supplements, okay? All right, sorry, just looking to make sure. All right, overhyped, BCAAs. Do I think they're good? In a sense, yes. If you're already taking protein, though, you're already getting BCAAs. The whole proteins give you all the amino acids that you need. With that said, I'm not telling you not to take it. I personally drink omega-3s. BCAAs. I have BCAAs in this. I use it more so for the flavor than I actually do the benefits. Because I get it from Cellucor. I get Airhead flavor, and it makes my water taste very good. So it helps me increase my water intake, and it doesn't really hurt me to take it, but it's not something that I feel like it's going to aid a lot into my muscle growth or my recovery or anything. But I do like the way it tastes. It helps my intake with fluids, and that's why I do it. But I don't feel like you need to go out there and spend a tremendous amount of money to get it. It's just something that I like personally, and it's sugar-free. Next, detox teas and cleanses. Okay. A lot of stuff out there on the market for this, right? And like they're all kind of price range. You see like super expensive to not that expensive. Just be mindful of that. Your body already detoxes itself naturally with your liver and kidneys. Detox teas and cleanses are marketing gimmicks for the most part. There is some truth to some of it, but for the most part, you have to be very mindful. So keep in mind with supplements, in the United States, it's not like the food industry. When you're talking food, like for it to roll out in the grocery store, like through like, you know, whether it's beans, whether it's produce, whether, you know, it's a Pop-Tart thing, it's got to be FDA approved, right? You know, I'm not saying that's the end all be all. What I'm telling you is that it is actually something that is looked at by an entity, and it is controlled. Supplements don't face that same kind of scrutiny. So their marketing and what they can say and not say on some of their ads does not have to face the same level of, say, like, you know, chicken. And I think we all know, like, if I say free range chicken or something like that, I think we all know that even it is, like, in its own terms, very loose with when they say it. Now just imagine that added to the supplement world to where it's even less restricted. So be very careful when they talk about what they can and cannot do, because it's not under that same scrutiny. It doesn't face the same regulations as our food does. So these detoxing teas, your liver, your kidneys, they all function and decleanse you. I would recommend, I have a sauna over there, I would go get in my sauna any day to help detox myself before I ever went and did a tea or actual detox thing that costs you $500 to clean my body out. Now there's diets you can go on, like all juice or something like that. Now that's a cleansing of the body, but that's different. That's not a supplement. That is a way in which you're dieting to cleanse your body out. Glutamine. Glutamine is important to your immune system. It is not crucial for muscle recovery as once thought, unless you are severely depleted, like endurance athletes. So, if you're out there running marathons every day, or, high mileage, high cardio, long distances, your body is going to use more than what your body would normally do with your strength training or just normal day-to-day activity. So is it needed? Yeah, if you're doing certain things, but not for the regular person. Instead of focusing on it, focus more, on your post-workout nutrition, making sure that you're getting protein, some complex carbs after you work out to replace all the energy that you've dissipated. And the glutamine will be in a lot of those natural products. Do you take any supplements to help you sleep better and recover better? I've tried some. I have problems sleeping, so I do take a couple of things before. I don't do it all the time. It's if I hit a couple of days, I have stuff to help, but it's nothing that I'd say that somebody needs or doesn't need. I've seen things marketed for it. I don't know how much it helps you or does not help you as far as recovery. I think the actual idea is that you sleep better and you recover in your sleep. That's how when you rest is when you're going to recover with your muscles. So if you're getting better sleep, you're going to recover better. So if you have sleep aids that are helping you aid your sleep, you're recovering. So I think it's kind of a thing to where you recover, they help, but it's just because you're sleeping better. If you can get that kind of sleep on your own without it, that's what I would do. Because our body, just like with any drug, whether it's alcohol, any cocaine, anything, your body gets used to it naturally and it starts needing it to do it or aid it. So if you start taking sleep aids, you're going to find that the majority of the time you're going to need to continue to take them to have that same kind of sleep. Brody, do you have a question? Brody wants to go live. I don't sleep a lot, but hit the REM sleep quickly. Okay. Okay. All right. So some conclusions and final takeaways. Myth busting is important because supplements can be useful, but they can also not work in your favor, and it can burn some holes in your pocket because supplements are expensive. I think for my protein in there, it's like, for one tub is like $40 and it's 30 servings, so it's over a serving per protein. So, and then you start, creatine's pretty cheap, like I said, but you got to remember, some of these things are going to be marketed in a way to capture your insecurities, to make you feel like you need it. That FOMO is being created. It's putting stuff in you that you may not have thought, if you didn't see a commercial telling you need that, would you have ever thought about it? You probably wouldn't have, right? So just keep these things in mind. You want to focus on a well-rounded diet and training first. So your workout program and your nutrition plan are the two most important things. Like I keep saying, the supplement is the key word. It supplements what you're doing, right? So if you have these things in place and you start hitting plateaus, supplements is where I would say your next step is. I wouldn't say your first step is to get the right supplements, then start working out, then start eating right. That's not the right way. But I can tell you from speaking to a lot of different people from consultations and clients that a lot of times the first question is, hey, what do I need to take, right? It's not that. Set your program up, set your nutrition plan up, you get those in place, and then you start looking at the supplements to help aid you in your journey. You don't need them. Do they help? A great deal. Creatine, protein powder, these are two that I recommend probably the most, with the omega-3 is probably the next. And then personally, I like pre-workout. If you're a morning workout person like myself, it might be something that might be advantageous to you to use. Again, hey, so from this, if I do this Monday through Friday, 1:30 to 2, I answer any questions people send. So like this supplement idea came up from somebody who actually sent me a DM and said, hey, can you talk about this? I will talk about anything that you send me. Now I answer all my DMs and my comments myself. So if you send me things, I will answer your questions. If you want to say, hey, Zach, I want to see this, or can you put this on your next live, or can you put it in your next content, I will. And then also go look at any of my content and say, you form a question on it. You can ask the question in the comments as well. Say, hey, Zach, can you cover this in your live, or can you answer this for me? And I'll answer it in the comments section. I'll create content about it, and or I'll talk about it in live. Any other natural sleep supplements that you recommend? I mean, I do melatonin. That's pretty natural. It's probably one of the least addictive out there, but your body will start craving it. Your body naturally produces it, but it does help myself. You can take too much and kind of feel anxiety the next day when you wake up, so be careful of that. I want to thank everybody for joining. And then lastly, if anybody's been following me, they know that my wife and I just went to New Zealand. We went to New Zealand because we wanted to, we formed a partnership with a company there, Microactive, and we're developing an app. We already have an app in place, but this app is going to be a little bit more user-friendly, a little bit more intuitive. And from that app, what we're going to do is we're rolling a soft rollout on November 1st. I have 50 spots right now that I'm going to be able to give out for people to join. And I don't have a lot of people, I don't need a lot of people joining because this is just the beta launch. I want to like work out any kinks in it for the public rollout on January 1st. In my link in my bio, I have a get started link on all 3 platforms, YouTube, IG, and TikTok. Go click on that, and if you click on it and you register on that link, I'm going to send you a free workout plan or a free meal plan. And then from there, in a couple days, you will get an invite to be one of the 50 to join. Only have 50 slots. Again, you're going to get a free workout plan or a free meal plan if you go and register. And from that, you will have a chance to be one of the 50. Now, that cost for that app, that for those 2 months that I'm going to be beta testing, is the cost it costs me. So it's literally going to be the cost me is what it's going to cost you. So it's pretty much a break-even functionality for me. This is just for me to test. Again, it's a good way for you to get on an app. Pretty dirt cheap, and it's only for 50 people because I don't need that many people. I just need to get different inputs for it. Again, it's on the get started on my app. I'm sorry, on my bio on all 3 of these platforms. And again, 50 people, you're at least going to get a free workout or a free meal plan. Again, as well, feel free to ask me any questions that you might want for any free content or any content that you got in the future. Somebody did say they just started a gym. Any advice? So this is off topic, so I'm just going to kind of broadly say this. All right, anybody starting off in the gym, if you're just starting off, you might be a little intimidated when you go in. Don't be intimidated. Anybody who's on this can tell you in the gym, you're not worried about what other people are doing. You're worried about yourself. You're in there to improve yourself. So when you go in there, don't be nervous. Don't be worried or mindful or thinking people are watching you. They're not. Unless you're doing something crazy, they're focused on what they're doing. Number 2, get a workout program. By far, it's the best thing to do. If you don't know what you're doing and you go in there and you try to wing it, you're not going to do the best workout. Have a workout plan in place. When you have that, you're going to have the ability to reach some of the goals that you want. And the last thing I would try to kind of focus on is create a nutrition plan. All right, if you want to gain weight, go figure out your BMI. You can talk to me. You can set a free consultation up. The worst thing that'll happen is I can give you some advice and tell you what to do. And you basically figure out your caloric intake. If you want to gain weight, you go over it. If you want to maintain, you stay. And if you don't, you go below. And then you just pay attention to your macros. So don't worry about the people in the gym. Get a workout program and then get a nutrition plan. Those are the 3 things I would try to kind of think about when you're first starting off. Okay. If there's no more questions, again, go fill that get started out. You're going to get at least a free workout plan or a free meal plan, and then maybe you can be one of the 50 for a dirt cheap app to be the first ones. So I appreciate your time, guys. I will be on here tomorrow, and if you want to hear anything tomorrow, DM me, and we'll see if we can cover it. All right, guys, talk to you later.